OK, first things first, let's get these gherkins chopped up. I've got some capers, which I'll chop up.
I don't like gherkins.
Really?
Do you?
Oh, you're
what
gonna
about
like...
caper?
No.
I thought you said you liked tartar sauce.
I do.
What do
What
they
goes
say
in
tartar sauce? A normal portion of tartar sauce would be about 90 calories, but I'll do one for about 35 calories.
No!
So more than half that. We're not using mayonnaise, we're going to use Greek yoghurt, but by the time I've put all those ingredients through, giving it a little bit of seasoning, it will be worth the difference in calories, I promise you. Let's get that shoved in, straight in. Let's not hang around. OK, let's have some lemon juice. Not too bad, just a little one. Yeah? And do you know what? That's pretty much it. OK, onto the fish.
Matt's using chip shop favourite haddock, which has 20% less calories than cod.
Into the flour. So we've got 1 egg. From the eggs into the breadcrumbs, which is really where you're saving the calories, isn't it?
So breadcrumbs, not batter?
Correct, because if you put batter in deep fry, then the oil's just going to... I mean, it's going to be like a sponge, that thing.
Yeah.
It's going to all go in, and then it's just calorie mania.
Yeah.
Girls, I've got this pan on a medium-high heat because I want it happening pretty quickly. I need this fish being cooked pretty quickly so it stays nice and succulent in the middle as well. Yeah.
Matt's pan-frying the fish in breadcrumbs using groundnut oil and saving more than 250 calories against the regular battered chip shop haddock.
Oh,
There we go.
Oh, look, I can feel myself dribbling.
Skinny girls fish and chips.
Isn't it? Lovely.
Have you tried your brand new tartar sauce, Debbie, with gherkins and everything?
Yeah. Do you like it?
That is nice.
The chips are really nice. They're yummy. Yeah, exactly.
I queued up longer to get fish and chips than it has to take to cook that. That was just lovely.
Nice.
It's another triumph for Matt. Catch of the day, family favourite fish and chips for just 400 calories. Friday's just got a whole lot healthier. If you want to tackle Matt's recipe, head to channel4.com/food. Having seen they can get their carb fix for a lot less calories, the divas set about shopping. With sugary sweet treats banned, we need to work out what will tickle our taste buds between meals. And Josie has the answer.
I'm going to have some licorice and some apple rings.
I'm going to have these because I was going to have a chocolate mousse and caramel wafer, so that's 200 calories, so I can have 4 of these.
No, can you have 4 of these?
Yeah, and I'm going to have 4 as well.
With the scales looming in a few days, let's hope the girls have been smart shoppers and stick to their 1,200 calorie day limit. We'll catch up with them later on. There are all kinds of factors that influence what we eat. I've been investigating the food industry and the techniques they use to encourage us to supersize our shopping.
Millions and millions of pounds go into the single aim of selling you something you think you ought not to eat, but you probably will anyhow.
And the health haze on food packaging that distracts us from reading the small print.
If we're persuaded that they have all these extra benefits, perhaps we can eat more of them, perhaps we can eat them more frequently. Fundamentally, these are high-fat, high-sugar junk food products that we should be eating very little of.
Tonight, I'm investigating diet foods. If, like me, you're always looking for ways to lose weight, then you'll be no stranger to the huge range of light or diet options on offer in the supermarket. The food industry has devised a wide selection of apparently diet-friendly options so that we can all have our cake and eat it. But are they really a dieter's friend? I'm off to Oakland's primary school in London to meet some tea break snacking teachers. I've bought a selection of popular biscuits and snack bars to see which ones they go for.
When you look at these 2 packets, you've got your ordinary digestives and your digestive lights. What would you naturally assume?
You're going to have 4 of those and 1 of those.
Like many of us, these teachers presume 30% less fat means they can eat more, right? Wrong.
There's only an 8-calorie difference between these biscuits and these biscuits. The light biscuits are 76 calories, the regular are 84.
To be honest, that's really disgusting, because on the side it says 30% or something, so you think, oh, well, it'd be a 30% difference.
That's what they're telling you one thing on the packet, but actually.
Misleading
It is
advertising.
misleading, isn't it?
Do you feel misled?
Yeah.
I think that is, definitely.
What about these snack bars? You've got the chocolatey Cocoa Pops ones or the alternative Special K option. Which one will these ladies go for?
What did you pick? You picked Special K.
I'm going for the lighter option because I do try to eat healthily. It's only got 90 calories.
This has got more calories in it than this.
Are you sure? Are you sure? It says 90 on this.
How many has the Cocoa Pops got? 84.
Oh, wow. I'm really shocked, actually.
I never would have thought that. Never would have thought that at all. We're being conned.
One thing that's clear is that low fat doesn't necessarily mean low calorie. Harley Street dietitian Nigel Denby reveals why these low-fat foods are still so calorific.
Fat is always seen as the dieter's enemy because fat gives us more calories than anything else that we eat. But you can't make a cake out of nothing, so if you've taken all the fat out, you've got to leave something there that's going to make it taste good. And very often with these types of treats, that tends to be sugar. So here we've got something 71 calories, very little fat, but 2.5 teaspoons of sugar per cake bar.
OK, so is that a sort of general rule with diet snack foods, that if you take the fat out, it tends to get replaced by sugar in order to make it tasty?
Very often, yeah.
High sugar not only pushes up the calorie content, but it could also contribute to weight gain in other ways.
If you eat something sugary, you get a rise in blood sugars quite quickly, a bit like a roller coaster. They then drop again quite quickly, and you want that high again. So yes, you do tend to go one after another, and sometimes until the packet's finished.
So diet-friendly snacks laden with sugar set up a chain reaction that leaves us chasing the next sugar rush.
If you are going to consume foods that contain lots of added sugar, you're setting yourself up for that roller coaster of highs and lows, and it's going to make over-consuming very difficult to avoid.
If low-fat, high-sugar snacks aren't the answer, surely I'm safe with the dieter's other best friend, the sugar-free diet drink. We calorie-conscious Britons are guzzling an incredible £7.9 billion worth of diet drinks a year. 21% more than is spent on the real thing. On a diet, you might think sugar-free is the way forward, but drinks that have replaced sugar with artificial sweeteners can also leave us wanting more. Dr. Catherine Appleton is a lecturer at Queen's University Belfast and has published research on how diet drinks can actually make us eat more.
Taste kind of primes the body for the incoming energy. In a diet drink, though, you have taste, but you have no subsequent energy. Consequently, you then experience a need for energy, of course demonstrated as an increase in hunger or an increase in food intake.
This is extraordinary. I absolutely never knew this. So the taste of sweet in our mouths prepares our body to expect calories and energy. And if you don't get it, then we basically go out hunting for it.
Yes, it's not the artificial sweeteners themselves, it's
just
the sweetness without any energy.
So, if low-fat treats are high in sugar and diet drinks cause food cravings, it seems that diet products are not the easy answer we might assume. Tam Fry of the National Obesity Forum thinks we need to wise up.
What you really have to do is have a look very carefully at all the symbols and logos on the packet, and then you make the decision. The responsibility is always you to decide what it is you eat.
If we pick up products that say low fat or diet, it almost gives us permission, in a sense, to kind of eat more and just, you know, to hell with it.
And that is the art of the psychologists. They want you to do precisely what is written on the tin, feel comfortable with yourself, and then go and buy another packet. And that, of course, it ultimately will probably make you fatter than you should be, and perhaps even obese.
When it comes to losing weight, we all wish there was a quick fix. Come on, who doesn't want to have the cake and eat it? But be careful of those diet foods. They're not going to do the hard work for you. At the end of the day, we've got to take responsibility and learn to eat well.
Me and my dieting divas have been working hard to drop that dress size in just 2 weeks. Not only are we sticking to just 1,200 calories a day, but we're also learning to live without our naughty treats.
I've got licorice. So similar to those cakes, don't you think? Not.
Today, I will not be cheating because today I feel fine and I don't feel I need that chocolate. Tomorrow, however, is a different day.
Whilst Josie struggles, for some of us, the change in what we're eating is having as big an effect as how much we're eating.
It's about learning about the fact that when you're on a diet, you don't really have to compromise that much. You can still eat fish and chips, you can still eat noodles, just, you know, low fat, high flavour.
I've noticed my complexion's a lot brighter, my eyes are a lot brighter, and skin in general, really, is a lot better. Probably it's because I'm not eating all the convenience foods and the curries and everything like that, because I was absolutely amazed how many calories are in one of my curries, which is totally now. My Indian restaurant won't be pleased, mind you.
You know, it's amazing, isn't it? Because people buy oven chips. Actually, all you need to do, chop up a potato, put it in the oven. Much nicer.
For Gail, though, the last few days have been a mission to undo the calorific damage of last week's party. But not all her exercise is paying off.
We had a book that said love making burned 267 calories. I can stand here now and tell you that they are wrong. 61. The book lies. My poor husband is exhausted.
Alpa Joshi has had an insatiable desire for cheese since she was 7 years old. And she's undergoing treatment to help her break free of her addiction.
Oh my goodness me, do I eat that much?
But she's finding it hard.
I've only put a quarter of a tub of dairy in that jacket potato. There's not enough cheese on this. Bloody awful.
She needs a wake-up call to help keep her heading in the right direction. So Alpa's come to see dietitian Ursula Philpott, who wants to highlight some of the contents of her favourite cheese.
If you can think about what's actually in the cheese as well, it might just help you to think twice about putting too much on your bread. Would that be okay?
Yeah, that'd be great. That would be really helpful.
So the top of the ingredients is actually skim milk. So that's sort of a fairly usual one. And then we've got butter as a second ingredient. Although it's not as high fat as something like hard cheese, there is still significant amounts of fat in it, and particularly saturated fat. And too much saturated fat in the long run has definitely been linked to increased levels of both cancers and heart disease.
Yeah.
And then we've got cheese. And then we've got 3 types of added ingredients which are called emulsifiers.
3 types of emulsifiers. I mean, why do they need so many emulsifiers?
It's emulsifiers that sort of sticks them together and gives them the nice smooth textures and sort of that you're used to.
Right.
The actual salt content of dairy is quite high.
I had no idea this has this much salt in it.
It's more than your whole day's maximum intake in one tub.
Really?
So it's
a
lot of salt.
Finish that whole tub in one day.
Yeah, and that's without the salt in your other food.
Yeah.
Ursula whips up a batch of processed cheese with the raw ingredients.
Oh my God, that's what I'm eating.
Yeah. If we put this on, would you actually eat it like that now, seeing what's in it?
No.
No.
No, definitely not.
Alpa's a vegetarian, so Ursula wants to help her find other healthy and tasty proteins that could stop her reaching for the cheese.
So I just wanted to spend some time thinking about other sorts of protein in your diet and perhaps other things that will still give you a sort of a creamy, rich taste, but perhaps without the fat and the salt content.
OK.
With tofu, there's several different types. There's tofu that's harder and there's tofu that's softer. If you feel it, it's quite squidgy and creamy. It's not unlike cheese.
Oh, okay.
Your best things to add it to are sort of strong flavoured things like curries, things like stir-fry, something that's got quite a lot of flavour in there already. And the tofu is in there really for protein and for texture.
OK.
Other things that we've got here are just other sort of vegetarian alternatives, really, for looking at things to put in sandwiches or add to things at lunch. Creme fraiche, particularly half-fat creme fraiche, a lot lower in fat, a lot lower in saturated fat, but is still going to give you a sort of rich, creamy flavour. Cottage cheese, a similar sort of product, really. It's sort of a halfway house between a milk and a cheese. It's worth trying, and especially adding it to things. The last one I've got here is falafels.
I thought it was meat.
No, it's vegetarian and it's made predominantly with chickpeas and spices.